So Steve Cooper has been relieved of his duties at Nottingham Forest and Nunes looking like the likely successor. But what do you guys think about it? Your voice is the most important one. Welcome to the Forest Phone-In. Afternoon, everybody. I hope you're doing well and welcome to this live phone-in. As we always say on this channel, the most important views are your views. And I'm just about to put the link in the chat and please come on and have your say. How are you feeling about Cooper going? Do you think it was the right time? Do you think he should have been given longer? Maybe you think he shouldn't have had as much time. And with Nunes, the likely successor, how do you feel about that? Do you like his style of football? Do you know much about him? We will have, of course, we will keep you abreast on everything that's going on. Let me just get the link up for you guys. Call in now. The link is pinned in the chat for you guys. Come and have your say. I'm really interested to hear how you guys are feeling about this. So I don't know why I can't pin that. Well, let me pin it. What's going on here? Let me try it again. You don't need a face cam, Shadow. If you just want to come on, have your say, all you need is a camera. Let me try putting the link in again. I think it's working, but I just can't pin it. What is going on? Anyway, let's get those thoughts in. So all you need, just make sure you got a mic. You don't need any special software. If you click on the link and then, okay, there we go. I can now pin it. There we go. Okay. Let's continue. So we got our first guy backstage already. It's Reds fan. How are you doing, bro?
Peace, Wolfie. This has been a long time coming. To be honest with you, I'm relieved. I'm also absolutely delighted because this Cooper mentality of low block and constant, it was never going to change. That was his fallback. He didn't have the, I don't think he had the courage or the imagination or this confidence to actually develop a winning tactic in this elite level. There was no expectation on him in the championship, and he did a wonderful job getting his promotion.
Yeah.
But I think the Premier League, we have seen where he has reached his limit in his ability to develop the team, to develop players at this elite level. I took so much stick. You wouldn't believe how much stick I've taken through the months on Facebook.
Hey, I can see your stick and quadruple it, so don't worry.
You know, I know for sure. But I feel justified because I'm a Forest fan. I put my club first, you know, and it's all about the club at the end of the day. You know, when Brian Clough left, it was time to go for him as well. You know, sentimentality only brings you so far. You know, Clough probably stayed on too long. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah, there's a lot
but that's history. We're talking about now. We're talking about the future of the club. The right decision has been made to remove Cooper. There's something in me. I just want to give it to the Cooper cult, but I think I should be the bigger man. I should be the better man. And again, it's not about me getting my own back on the cult. It's about me as a Forest fan celebrating this day, and hopefully looking forward to, you know, whereby we can look forward to games. We can look forward to a style whereby it's not going to be all out attack, but hopefully we'll have a manager who can get the best out of these very talented players.
Yeah.
If you have a Dominguez, a Sangare, an Alanga, you know, Gibbs White, you know, if you have them playing in a style that is stunting their abilities, you'll never get the best out of them.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. So thankfully,
I just interrupt you for 1 second, bro.
Yeah.
Because it's officially been announced on Forest's feed. Let me just read it out to the guys. Jay, thank you for pointing it out. Nottingham Forest confirmed the departure of head coach Steve Cooper. Everyone at Nottingham Forest would like to thank Steve for his superb contribution to our football club and wish him well in his future endeavors. So that's just broken. So it is officially official now, mate. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that the timing is wonderful as well, because it gives the new manager, it's not 8 games or bust. It's a full half of a season to give him 10 games to establish his best 11, bring in some guys who are on loan. Time is on his side, whoever this is going to be. Hopefully it is Nuno. Nuno wasn't on my radar, but I think he is an upgrade on Cooper. There's no doubt about that. And let's just hope and pray, and fingers crossed. Nuno's the right man. The right decision was made today, sacking Cooper. Hopefully, Nuno's the right man. I'll leave it at that because I'm sure there's other people want to come in. But this is a good
about
day.
10 people backstage, bro. But thank you for jumping on, having your say. And my words of advice would be: I know what you mean about the kind of Cooper FC brigade, but being the bigger man for me, me, the club is more important. It doesn't matter if you're right, you're wrong, they're right, they're wrong. All that matters is that Forest do as best as they can, in my opinion.
One last thing I'll say, if you don't mind, just 30 seconds. One last thing I will say is that the fan base has been divided. I and a lot of people here have been in the minority. There were a lot of people who were afraid to express their views in the city ground.
That's true.
Which should never have happened. It should never have been that way.
100%.
And that was the cult mentality. Now, I'm not going to knock people. If you're in the cult, you're in the cult. This is a new day. It's a fresh start.
Yeah. Which is why we set the channel up, bro, just to make it a safe space. We'll take all the crap and hopefully you guys get your say, bro. But thanks so much for coming on. It's good to see you in person. I've seen you in the chat so much, bro. And
cheers,
enjoy the rest of the day. Right. So yes, it is official. Warren, I'll bring it up. There's so many backstage. I'm gonna go in order. Thomas, you were next, but there's no device connected, mate. So you may need to come in and out. So I'm gonna bring John on next on here. John, how you doing, bro?
Yo, what's good, brother? You right?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, sound, mate. Sound. I feel a bit like bittersweet today, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know where you're at and like which manager you would have preferred, but I thought like Glasner would have probably been the better choice. I'm all right with Nuno. I'll sort of back whoever's there, but I mean, I feel kind of like torn because I've been saying that I wanted Cooper to go for a few weeks now. Probably going, maybe even going back as far as like the Luton game, bro. To be honest with you, I mean, I was a bit more level-headed at that point.
Yeah.
But it's just peak, innit? Because I wanted him to do well, but he couldn't. And maybe at a certain point, it's more fair on him if you let him go off and figure it out for himself. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it's a bittersweet kind of day. I feel like we've all got what we wanted, but it's come at a pretty harsh cost, which was someone who did a lot of good for the club. Yeah. But I think, I don't know, his time had obviously come, and I think he'd run out of ground, mate, to be honest. And it's sad. But what I wanted to ask you was, which manager do you think would have been better out of Glasner and Nuno? What would you have preferred?
If we're assuming they're the options, I'd say from what I was hearing, it was 3. I think Lopetegui was the first choice. Salary wise, he'd want a lot. He'd also demand a lot in the transfers, etc. So if you were putting it between Glasner and Nuno, I'm gonna say like I kind of agree with Marinakis. Because I think what's been weighed up is the Premier League experience. And I think that's the key that's been missing from Forest. Even if you look at his backroom staff of Tate and the 2 Reeds, and include Cooper in that before last season, none of them had Premier League experience. And I think when you look at the trajectory that Nuno took, it's similar, but slightly, with all due respect to Cooper, better than what Cooper did. He got Wolves promoted. They won the league with 4 games to go, I think it was. First season in, 7th, straight into Europe. Second season and 7th again. So he's going to have experience of a similar club size being progressed into Premier League outfit. Now, has he got the kahunas for a relegation fight, which is potentially what it's coming in? We don't know. I think the honest answer, and everyone needs to agree on this, is no one knows. No one knows. Again, I'll be playing the lottery this weekend. So my gut feeling is I think it's a well thought out appointment. Is he going to bring that attacking style of football that a lot of us have been craving for? Probably not.
No, probably not.
Yeah. But will he develop into that? Yes. My voice is going, bro. But yeah, that's kind of where I stand on it, bro. So I would have been happy with either appointment, but I trust Marinakis enough that I think he's made. I'm sure he's done his due diligence on it.
And this is, you actually tie in perfectly to the other thing that I wanted to say. I'll sort of shoot after this and let some other people get their voices heard. But I think managers come and go, like players come and go. But if you can get a good owner that wants what's best for, I can't say that like all of his appointments have been brilliant, because obviously you can look at the likes of Houghton and some of the drops that happened before that. I think the guy before Houghton, I forget his name, but I think he was actually looking all right, and we sort of fell at the last hurdle.
COVID screwed us,
yeah. But I think if you got a good owner who genuinely wants what's best for the club, and to a certain extent the city, I don't know how far he thinks about the city. I don't really care either. But I think I trust him, and I'll back whoever's in that dugout on Saturday. It could be Nuno, it could be some fucking random guy off the street for all I care. I'll back him if Marinakis has put him there.
Exactly. And I think that's exactly the right approach, John. Fantastic. Yeah. But yeah, mate, I don't want to move you on. I could talk to all of you for hours, but there's so many backstage. I just want to make sure I give everyone a couple of minutes to have their initial views. But it's good to see you, bro. And thank you so much for coming on. And
thanks, man.
Plastic Ape, guys in the chat, you go check that out,
Yeah, thanks, mate. Big up.
Anytime. Go do
Merry
it.
Christmas, mate. In a bit.
All right. John, good to see you, mate. And I'll speak to you soon. Cheers,
man.
All right. I'm gonna move Thomas back up into the stage. So guys backstage, I got Thomas, then Lennert, then Tyler, then Daniel, then Maddie, then Lawson. I'll get all to you. What I'll do like a couple of minutes with each, because there's loads waiting, and we'll just make sure that everyone gets their initial thoughts on it. There's how many we got in here? Just under 400 in here. Please don't forget to hit the like. Make sure you're subscribed, and let's get Thomas on. Thomas, I think you're connected now. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right. I think it's a sad day. Like, obviously, Cooper is a Forest legend, but I think it was necessary, really. I think it was obvious after the Everton game that they just kept giving the ball away. It was, and the Fulham game, which I didn't watch, 5-0. And I think he should have really been sacked after the Fulham game. I think if we had Stephen Reid in charge, well, I don't know. I'm not Mystic Meg. I didn't know what would happen. But I think perhaps we'd have got a better result, but Wolves. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? And I think Nuno. Is
that where you started to turn, mate? Was it around the Fulham game, or were you before or after, or maybe you didn't?
Well, it is about fan support. I would be divided. I don't know. I think I'm not sure. I think
were you like on the fence kind of thing?
I was anti-Cooper from the Everton game, but I guess Marinakis may have waited a bit because there was more Cooper outs.
Yeah.
As time progressed, but I think on social media, I think the majority is still Cooper in. I mean, I live in Wales, so I don't ever go to many Forest games, unfortunately. But yeah, I think Nuno will be a good appointment because he's done very well at Wolves and Al Ittihad. So yeah.
Yeah. What do you think the reception will be like on Saturday from the fans at the City Ground? There's a lot of talk that they'll be singing Cooper's name and things. Do you think that will happen, and do you think that's the right approach?
Yeah. I think he's the most popular manager in the 21st century, really. I mean, we've had some shocking managers. It's not great competition, but yeah, there will definitely be singing Cooper's name. But will it all be forgotten if we improve? Well, it won't all be forgotten, obviously, but
I know what you mean.
Things move on. Brighton sacked Houghton, got Potter in, and now they're in top 10. So
yeah, I think that's a great point. The Brighton fans were all up in arms about Potter going, and who's this De Zerbi guy, and a couple of wins. We as football fans are quite fickle, aren't we, Thomas? Give us a few wins on the pitch, and we're happy, basically, aren't we?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I need to go to work, so
I appreciate you coming on, Thomas, man. Thank you for having your say, bro, and it's good to speak to you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, all the best, mate. Bye. Okay, just before I bring Lennert on, so we did have Frank Clark lined up for 7 p.m. tonight. I've spoken to him and we've kind of agreed between us, out of respect for Cooper, it wouldn't be quite fitting to do that special live with Frank. So we've pushed that to the 9th of January. So it's still on board, but we just want to kind of make sure we give Cooper the respect that he deserves. Quick thank you to Gavin. Thank you so much for subscribing, and to Will for subscribing as well. Please do hit those like buttons, and the link to get on is pinned in the chat. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8 waiting backstage, so there's still room to get you guys on. We'll do a couple minutes with each and we'll move on. And then tonight at 7:30 we'll do a special Gore edition as well with the panel. So let's get, oh, my voice is going funny. Let's get Lennert on. I'm sounding like Stony. How are you, mate?
I'm good. The first fan you have from Belgium, I think.
Hey, good to have you, mate. Is Mangala your favorite player?
Yes, he's good for the national team, I would say. But he's not bad. I also for Belgium, he's not bad. But I think Marinakis did the right thing. I think that's the step that will put us forward. So for mid-table, because there is still room to do it. We are not far behind. I think 2 wins and we are mid-table back. Yeah. So I think if Nuno gets it right and we go further, I think we will be back at mid-table. I saw it longer with Cooper that just it wouldn't be going the right path. I think Cooper did a lot for us, but I think he still wants to play his panic football. He played a lot of panic football, and that's what he still was doing. And I thought a few matches ago, I would say Burnley, Brentford, and so with the new plan that he had, he would approve. But it wasn't approved. Like the stats didn't lie. We didn't have the much possession, didn't have much shots on target, and so on. And that's why I thought after a few matches, I think Luton and then, of course, Everton came at Aston Villa. I was again from, okay, maybe he can stay. But those matches, I was more like, come on, get him out and try to do it with the next one. So I think Marinakis do it also with Olympiacos. He had a new manager appointed in beginning of this month. So I think he did it now at the right time. Maybe a little bit too late, but I think after after Wolves, that he could do it before Tottenham, because now the time is a little bit the same, I would say. But I don't know if Nuno would win Tottenham. But I didn't even watch Tottenham properly because I knew what would happen. It was
a bit better the performance. You could see there's a little more fight, but still, it just felt like, you know.
And I think the fight only came when Bissouma was off, and before that, it was just negative football, low block, all the negative things we saw for the past 2 years, I would say. And I was like, this is not the type of football you want to play. Even when we had 10 men, we weren't that influential, I would say, in front of goal. So okay, we had Ilanga, but he's the offside man, so it's not it was not the right shot, I would say. And he isn't a striker. He needs to improve. He maybe needs also another manager to improve. I think he is a talented player, but we have a lot of talented players. But they need to come out. And then maybe Mangala and Sangari switch from position. That Sangari get back in the 6. And then Mangala to progress on the field, I would think, because Mangala is a good dribbler, I would think, because he can turn around really quick. That's his strength. Also, if you look at if he gets the ball from the defenders, he can move it quickly around. Sangari is more the 6 that will get the ball and progresses forward, and not the 8. If you switch them 2 around, I think the midfield is already good. I would say in the top end, without Taiwo, now Origi, using Origi and then Elanga and maybe Morgan Gibbs-White or Callum Hudson-Odoi. But I would stick with the three midfielders, Dominguez, Mangala, and Sangare, and maybe Danilo also in. But Morgan Gibbs-White, I don't know. I saw
Maybe,
one good match.
remember, Nunes has managed him at Wolves, although he did ship him out on
true.
loan while he was there.
True.
Maybe he'll know him maybe slightly even better than Cooper. I know Cooper worked with him in the under-17s, mate.
Yeah, true. But of course, Nuno played with Morgan, but he shipped them on loan to Sheffield and so on. So
maybe
I don't know.
It might be good for Morgan to be a little more fearful of the manager, maybe. Because
if Nuno says I'm going to play with the 4-2-3-1 formation, but I think at Wolves he played a lot with a 5-back, and then 3 attackers
with the 4-back as well, though.
Yeah,
so
but
it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, true. But I think maybe he will line up like a 5-back, but then 3 up front and not 1 or 2 up front, but 1 up front and then 2 midfielders. That would also be good. But if I would pick then 2 midfielders, I would pick Mangala and Sangare. Those two are really strong.
100%. Lennert, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, especially as you're from Belgium. Honestly, I love that we are so international as a club. I'm just going to bring the next callers on, matey. Thank you.
No problem. It's good.
Jumping on. And,
have a nice day.
Come back soon. We'll be doing a lot of these live call-ins going forward. So thank you so much for taking the time, buddy.
Yeah. Have a nice day.
You too, buddy. Bye. Okay, so who we got next? Oh, we got Potty Mouth next. Jump backstage if you want to come on and have your say. Just before I bring Potty Mouth on, Warren, thank you so much for the £5 super sticker. You're an absolute legend. Appreciate the support, bro. And Stephen, when you log in, there'll be an option on your screen to say attach mic and attach camera. You can just leave the camera one blank. Stony, you can tell me better than you can say better than I can. That's what it does.
But it is that simple. There's just like a little menu in the center of your screen. Just click turn off camera and it'll turn off.
Yeah. And yes, square box in hand. Go ahead, Stony. What's on your mind, bro?
I'm going to not say any swears today.
Okay. Good.
I am genuinely
monetize the channel, mate. You and Ant.
I'm upset. I've always been pretty neutral on Cooper. If it is his fault, I'll blame him. If it's the player's fault, I'll blame the players. There's a middle ground. I would say that even though it's been going downhill, I've still got the utmost respect for what he's done. It was probably the right move in the end to get rid of him. But in the end, he's brought us back to the Premier League and he's kept us up. And I'm happy that we're back here. And yeah. I think we need to put some respect on his name.
I agree for what he's done. You know, he's absolutely peed me off plenty of times, but I will never, ever forget what he did for the club and how he turned it around. You know, we are football fans at the end of the day, and especially in matches and straight after, you're going to be talking with emotion. That is football, you know, so it is what it is. But when you assess what he's done, you can't fault the man. You really can't. And the manner. I mean, I could learn a thing or two from him about how respectful he is and stuff. And you know, and so could you with your language, mate. So you know, there's plenty we can learn from Cooper. And I say we wish him nothing but success going forward. As long as if he does manage in the Premier League, his club finishes behind us, and obviously we get 6 points off them.
He's going to Crystal Palace, isn't he? He's just going to end. It's been written in the stars for the past year. He's off to Crystal Palace, and he'll be there. Like he'll be there basically tomorrow. Roy Hodgson will be out at about 7 tonight, and then Steve Cooper will be down in London signing his contract at 10.
You heard it here first from Stony. Rich, if you're watching, Rich has been messaging me. Let's just say he's Hodgson back in now.
Oh no, I just thought of that.
Yeah, but
would have been funny if Beat the Drop was tonight. We've seen Rich sad over the past few episodes. He would have just been head in his hands the whole time. I would feel bad for him.
Some of the messages I've had from Rich and Jace, because he's been linked to West Ham as well. But yeah, mate. Yeah, yes. So, what's your quick thoughts on Nunes? And then I'm going to bring Maddie in, then Lawson in, and Marky Boy. Hey, look at Mark. Look at that handsome chap backstage. I see you,
Hello,
Mark.
Mark. I can't see you, Mark, but hello.
So, quick thoughts on Nunes. Do you think he's the right one? Because it's kind of been met with uncertainty from me, from what I'm seeing on the socials.
I agree. I'm very uncertain, to be honest. I think
Yeah.
we can't judge him how he will be for Forest. You can't say he's going to get us relegated or he's going to get us into the top 10. It's too early. We haven't seen him play a game for Forest. What I know, he plays a counter-attacking style, not necessarily a low block style. Plays counter-attacking football, 3-4-3. He would, I reckon that's what he's going to be sticking with. So it would probably be the Niakate, Volley, and Murillo back three, and then we'd probably see Einar and maybe either Toffolo or Aurier or Montiel, depending on. And then it's that two midfield, because he's going to have to go 3 centre backs and 2 wing backs. It's those two in the midfield. Who's he going to choose? Up front,
Sangare will have to be brought back in. I can't see that's probably built into his contract as well, you know.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this final quick question: would you play Nico Williams right wing?
Right wing.
Chat, would you? I'll put the question to the chat as well.
We've seen him in like 2 games this season. He's performed well in both, but I would give it more time before I would make a good decision. It's a boring answer, I know, but
you just gave us the whole lineup, and now you're backing out on that one, right?
I am. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If someone held a gun to my head, I would say probably not. I would prefer Einar on the right, Toffolo on the left.
Yeah, fair enough. Stony, I'm gonna kick you because I gotta get through to the rest. I can see Mark getting annoyed at the background. Well, don't do that sign at me, Mark. Yeah, it's good to speak to you, bro. And the chat is saying they get confused between you and Maddie, so I'm really about to confuse them because boom, here we go. See you later, Stony, mate.
Bye.
Kick him off. And then this is the other guy, Maddie.
Hello.
How are you, Maddie?
I'm very nervous, I'll be honest, because as Stony said earlier, the manager can even be a fantastic thing, or he could take us straight down. We could be bottom of the league for all we know.
Yeah.
We don't know. He's not played a single game for us, and I don't watch Saudi football, so I have no idea if he'll be good for us. But I do thank Cooper for everything he's done. He's still a legend. I think it's easy to say he's the best manager since Frank Clark, and I will miss him, but at the same time,
you definitely remember Frank Clark, don't you, Maddie?
Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, he probably retired from management before I was born. So, but I think because I think Nuno, he has a very similar style to Cooper, but it has more of an identity, which we've been calling out for from Cooper. And I think if he can get that into the team and also not fall out with, I know what Nuno did at Wolves, but that was also quite a long time ago. So it could happen either way. Just respond to Simon's comment. But if he can get behind the players that we've spent a lot of money on and we know have quality, I think he could be very good for us.
Could you see Podence coming to Forest, because he is obviously at Olympiacos?
I did think that. I thought we might have
thinking that today. Yeah,
I was thinking of us having a look at him even when Cooper was in. And I think it might be even more likely now that Nuno's in, but we'll see. As I said, I just really hope that the risk is paid off, because it's definitely a risk. Getting rid of any manager is always a risk.
It is. There's always pros and cons with it. But do you feel when they looked at it, Maddie, that they were looking at it thinking, well, the trajectory currently is towards a relegation battle if we don't re-steer this ship? Do you think, basically what I'm asking you is, what do you think the bigger risk was, keeping him or changing him?
It's a good question. I didn't really think of that.
See, I'm going to put you on the spot, mate. I'm going to put you on the spot.
I think Cooper would have kept us up, if I'm being realistic.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have taken us much further, though. So I think in that sense, Nuno's a bigger risk, because he can definitely take us down still. And I know he's a quality manager, but also wrong place, wrong time. He can fall out with the owner. Cooper was very like, oh, Marinakis, thank you so much. You're my favourite, all of that. Nuno, it obviously didn't happen at Wolves, but at Tottenham, fell out with Levy. It's why he was sacked, even though his results weren't too bad. Then at Al Ittihad, he didn't get sacked, but he left because he fell out with the owner and also Karim Benzema, who's obviously
the Benzema one was a key one, wasn't it?
Yeah. And when we have not only Marinakis, who is very up front when it comes to managers, at least at Olympiacos, and also we have some players like Sangara and Einar who are very well. I think they fell out for sort of similar reasons. You don't want that to happen, obviously, and so as I said, it's really dependent. I'm really like conflicted, if you can tell.
But you know, that's how you want to feel. That's how you feel, mate. You know, so no one should tell you.
I will support him though. I'll support him. I agree. Club, obviously.
I agree. I think that's the key thing right now is you got to support the manager. If you were Cooper in or Cooper out, I still firmly stand by Forest first, you know?
Yeah.
All right, Maddie, apparently your bass has blown poor Keith's speakers in the chat.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I gotta bring Lawson on next, buddy. But it's good to catch up with you as always. And
cheers,
you know, we'll probably do a call in after the Bournemouth game. And
is
then
that on the 23rd?
Huh?
Is that on the 23rd?
What is this Saturday? Yeah, 23rd. Yeah.
Okay.
So see how you feel, and then maybe your plans change one way or the other, maybe.
Yeah. All right.
All right, bro. Good to speak to you. I'll speak to you soon.
You too. See you in a bit.
Cheers, bye. Okay, so there's 550 of you guys in here. Thank you for joining. We got plenty of room now in the back. I got Lawson on next, then Marky Boy, then Alex. So if you want to join, you don't need a camera. You can just come on with the mic and just jump on backstage, and we'll get you on for a couple of minutes. You can have your quick say about how you're feeling. How you feeling about Cooper going, and how you feeling about potentially Nuno coming in. Let's grab Lawson from backstage. Lawson, how are you, matey?
You're right, Wolf. It's been a while.
It has. You've been keeping well?
Yeah, no, I've been good. How have you been?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. It's kind of, you know, dumped all in one go today, but, you know, you got to roll with the punches, as they say.
Yeah, it's definite. Well, we can't say it was unexpected, but we knew it was coming at some point. It's just, I feel like now was a bit too soon. Like,
you're stuck a little longer.
Yeah, I would have stuck with him a bit longer because I feel like the games we've had, not necessarily hard, but like, I guess you could say the Fulham game wasn't his fault really, because like, let's be honest, the players were awful. Like, Sangare looked absolutely wasted in the midfield.
Yeah.
And then just the games after that, there seems to be a bit of a positive comeback, but I feel like it just needed time to like function. But obviously, Marinakis does not see eye to eye with me.
Yeah, but where were you seeing the points coming from? If you wanted to keep him, let's say till the end of the Christmas period, were you seeing points coming out of Bournemouth, Newcastle, or Man U?
Oh, I said to my dad that I reckon 3 points out of Bournemouth and a point out of United, and that's what I saw to the end of it. But Newcastle going to St James's, not many people come out of there with points, so wasn't expecting anything from that. But United at the minute are there for the taking, I reckon, and I feel any team could get points from there.
Yeah. Do you, now that it's done, and obviously you wanted to give him a bit more time, how are you feeling about Nuno? Do you think he can kind of take the mantle off from Cooper and progress us how Marinakis wants, or are you still a little reserved on him?
Well, I think now that he's done it, thinking about it, it could be a good time, obviously before January transfer window, so he can hopefully work with the games that we've got before, see what we need and like what he could do to improve the side, because obviously we do need a change, but it's just Cooper wasn't really sure what change we needed. Like we're gonna need I reckon we need like another striker or like another winger or something, because we've kind of only got we've got Hudson-Odoi or Alanga, and that's about it for wingers. And Wood and Origi is just god awful, really.
Yeah, but maybe Nuno can get a tune out of Origi, maybe. But I think Origi will go in January, if I'm being honest with you.
What do you reckon they'll recall him?
Yeah, I think they'll send back most of the loanees. And they'll probably have to give Nuno a bit of a war chest as well. So I'm expecting a few going out as well. I'm aware of what's been said about Joe Worrell. We'll address that at 7:30 tonight. There's been the skeletons are being opened currently, matey. But yeah, Lawson, it's been fantastic having you on, bro. It's been a while since we've spoken.
Thanks for having me. It's been a while, man.
No, it's good to have all of you guys on. Really enjoying kind of hearing your thoughts and opinions on it. And we'll speak soon, mate.
Can I just say one more thing?
Of course you can.
Anyone that hasn't liked or subscribed to Forest Fan TV, get on that right now.
Absolutely free to do. You absolute legend, Lawson. Good to speak to you, bro.
Thank you. You too, man.
Let me bring on the main man, Mark. You ready, Mark? Let's bring him on. Marky boy, Forest old boy, love it. How are you, mate?
Not so bad, mate. You?
Yeah, good, mate. Still, I'm kind of a bit in disbelief. I didn't think it would happen today. I thought if it was going to happen, it would have happened yesterday. So it kind of caught me a little off guard. But yeah, I mean, we've gone through it plenty of times, me and you, in our years, haven't we? So, but it feels like we haven't had it for a while, you know? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think that.
Chat, I think he's got Ezra's connection. Well, while he's sorting himself out, let me bring up some of the comments from the chat. Jim saying, let's all get behind Nuno. N2 saying, isn't Nuno?
Can you hear me okay now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think because I had my headphones on, every time I spoke, it was stopping the stream.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I've taken them off and disconnected my Bluetooth.
Just turn the old hearing aid up, Mark.
Yeah, not yet. I'm waiting for my letter from the hospital to go and get them checked out.
Go on, mate. Give us your thoughts on it. I've been intrigued to hear what you've thought of today's events.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, as you'll know, I'm a bit disappointed because I did want to give him more time. I think I've been thinking a lot lately about how I feel about things with Cooper, because although I always have been Cooper in and I wanted to give him that time, when you look back at some of the things that have happened during some of the games and his tactics and his substitutions, sometimes the way that he's used some of the players, it has sort of like swayed me the other way. I think, on one foot, you've got to give him the respect for getting us back into the Premiership, keeping us up last season. Things like, what he's done for the city to bring the fans together, and almost in a way, he's done that so well that that's what's resulted in so many of the fans being labelled as Cooper cultists. Because they support him so much.
Yeah, but you were never, in my opinion, you were never in that sway. I always felt that whenever we've talked, it was, yes, there's always sentimentality. There's on both sides, I think. But there is somewhere you hear him. I don't think you were ever in the camp of, if we get relegated, stick with him or keep going until we get relegated kind of thing. Where was your kind of line drawn with him?
I think it is one of those strange ones, where I'm somewhere in between. I've supported Forest for that long. I've seen managers come and go. I think one of the main things that I wanted to see was stability, which was probably in the back of my mind why I did want to see him given more time. Because out of the managers we have had over the past 10, 15 years, he has brought some kind of stability to the club. But then, it's obviously reached that point where a lot of people don't think he can take us any further. And, while that's a valid point of view, we never know what's going to happen in the future. So it could turn around, if it has stayed, it could turn around the other way. Sorry. Nuno, I don't know whether we will get him or not, although I know they're talking to him. I've heard it's only about the possibility of taking over. And I think you've got a couple of things to think about. I know money's going to be one. How much is he going to want? and the others like, you know, if he's coming back from Saudi Arabia, he's going to have a hefty tax bill to pay before he comes back, because unless you stop out there for 2 years, you have to pay full tax on what you've earned.
Yeah.
And he won't.
Yeah, but they'll have offshore accounts and all that stuff, Mark. They're not like us commoners. They're not like...
But yeah, I mean, you know, it's still a thing for him. He might.
It is. Yeah.
He might want to stop out there for a bit longer and try and see his 2 years out to save all that tax before he comes back into the UK. So that's one thing that's against it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like the sound of him, though, Mark? Let's
Sorry?
assume it goes ahead. Do you like the sound of him, assuming it goes ahead?
Well, you can't deny what he's done in the Premier League before and his record. So that's a big thing in his favour. You know, there was some. You were debating with someone early on about him or Glasner, and you know, you've got to say he has got Premiership experience, and that is where Cooper has been sadly lacking, because he's been learning on the job, same as the rest of the club. You know, because we've been out of the Premiership for that long. So yeah, in that respect, he sounds okay, but it's one of the things, isn't it? You don't know until he takes over. And you were talking to the guys last night about what would your expectations be about league finishing position for this season if he does come and take over. And again, there was debate about, as was saying, I'd be happy with 17th, but then the argument being that, well, we were saying before Cooper's gone that we've got the squad to finish a lot higher up the table. So if he's got that experience, surely he's going to be able to take them up the table if that's why we're getting him in. But yeah,
I get what you're saying. For me, I mean, I know it said 17th, but I always say when you get a new manager in, you've got to give them at least 6 to 12 months to get their style on. They got to change a lot, you know, behind the scenes and what have you. So I get some people will say 17, some will just say stabilize, and some will still be like, no, let's go win the league, you know, do a Villa. But not that they've won the league. So again, it's all going to be subjective, isn't it, on what people now want?
Right.
But it'll be interesting.
Well, the really interesting thing's going to be whoever we bring in if we get relegated. You know, not that I want to really talk about that, but you've got to have that in the back of your mind somewhere.
Yeah. There's a risk.
If someone like him comes in, is he going to insist on something in his contract that he can walk away if we get relegated?
Yeah. Well, what I'm hearing, little breaking news for you, is they're talking about a 2.5-year contract deal for him. What other details have I got? He's expected to sign 2.5-year deal with Forest and expected to be in the dugout this Saturday for Bournemouth. So breaking news for you guys. It is done. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I was just seeing as in the chat saying he says he didn't say he'd be happy with 17th. He said under the circumstances I'd take 17th. Well, for me, that's the same thing. He was saying that he'd be happy with 17th to give Nuno a chance. So it's it is the same thing as far as I'm concerned.
I'll let you and Ez debate that in the Trent end.
Is Ez coming on camera tonight later on?
It depends on his connection, mate. But yeah, he should be there. Yeah, there we go. He's starting on you already, Mark. All right, Mark. I'm going to get the rest of the guys on. It's good to catch up with you as always. We'll talk no doubt soon, as we always do, mate.
Yeah, up the Reds.
All right, you Reds. All right, guys. So let's bring on the next person, who is Alex. Alex, how you doing?
Hi, mate. How you doing?
I'm good, matey. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm just like a bit shocked, to be fair. Like, I never thought it'd actually happen. How are you feeling about it?
As I said to Mark, I thought if it was going to happen, it was going to happen yesterday. The talks are actually that they did make the decision yesterday. I think Romano.
Yeah, I saw that like last night. He got fired last night.
Yeah, but look, I'm not going to lie. I think it's the right decision. I think maybe personally it should have been a few weeks earlier, but we are where we are, and it's just about where we go forward now, mate.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I'd probably be a bit happy with like the replacement being someone else other than Nuno, because like obviously like seeing people on Twitter like say negative stuff about it, like obviously like puts you off a bit if you haven't watched him too much, which I haven't. So like I'm just like a bit on the fence with it.
Yeah, but that's okay to be. I don't think that's a bad approach to have. I mean, at the end of the day, you need to see what he's got to produce on the pitch, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'd say we shouldn't judge him before we've seen what he's done. I don't think we'll have all the answers after Bournemouth this weekend, assuming he's in. So it's a case of, I think you got to go with an open mind, because when Cooper first came in, I was like, Cooper, is he going to be the guy? I know he's got playoffs. He's always blown it in the playoff finals with Swansea. And then look what he did. So I think that's kind of the approach I'll be taking.
Yeah, one thing that did like fill me with a bit of confidence with Nuno is that apparently he didn't bring like his like whole management team to Tottenham, which sort of like made him unsuccessful. Which is what he had with Wolves, which obviously got him like the 2 7th place finishes and whatever. So yeah, that's sort of like made me feel a bit more confident. But obviously, would have preferred Glasner because of like the European trophy and whatever. So, and obviously he's a bit more of an attacking manager, I think, as well. So, like,
yeah, Glasner definitely be more attack. They both prefer a back three though. Both do play with that style. Although
I feel like our team's sort of like built for that though. Like with the amount of like overload on centre backs, the 2 wing backs, like Aina and Nico Williams, which I think both would work really well. Like this weekend or whenever, instead of Toffolo, because Toffolo's sort of like back 4, not really as attacking as Aina, which I feel like he'd do good in. So yeah.
Do you think the reception will be good this weekend for Nuno, or do you think the crowd will be singing Cooper's name still? How do you think that's gonna go?
I don't know, you know. I don't know really. I don't know what to think of it. Depends like probably like the talk like before the game, sort of like determine whether or not he would have a good reception. But surely like everyone at the club wants to see like a victory at some point, like been starved of one for longer than we should have done. So I think they're all just gonna like get behind them, but like still reminisce about the times you've had with Cooper and stuff like that. Like,
I think, but I'll stand by you, mate. I think your approach is the right one. Kind of on the fence approach and see what happens. I don't see a problem with that at all.
Yeah, obviously Marinakis thinks it's the right one. Obviously, like clearing the debts, investing all the money. Like he wouldn't just appoint like a bad manager if he didn't like want the club to succeed. So obviously he thinks it's the right person, but yeah, it's all like a bit up in the air at the moment, I think.
Exactly. All right, matey, I'm gonna bring Bobby on next. Anything you want to close with, bud?
Subscribe to FFTV.
Good man. Good to speak to you, Alex. Appreciate it, bro. Bye. I'll see you soon. Bye. Now, time for the legend. Oh my God, Rich is backstage. This should be interesting as well. So I got Bobby on next, and I've got Will coming on, and Brandon, and Alistair, and Rich, and Mohammed. We'll go for like another half hour or so. Let's bring on the absolute legend. That is Bobby. Look at him. Look how cool you are, Bobby. How are you, buddy? All the way from the States. You well?
Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me? You good?
Can hear you. I can hear you.
Awesome. The only thing I can say is Cooper who? Who is that guy? Where do I send flowers? I mean, really.
Distant memory now for you.
And a bad one. This thing has been going on way too long. A Red fan said it earlier in the chat. You know, Blackpool. I was like, you got to be kidding me. You cannot lose 4-1 to the last place team in the championship. I mean, it's been too long. And here, what do? We just struggled. 1 point a game ever since. No goals. I mean, this is ridiculous. I put in the chat or in the comment earlier, you know, that, you know, if you look at the managerial, you know, stats as far as goal differential, Nuno's plus 238.
Wow.
You know, 238. And Cooper, just with us, is a minus 43 as we speak. I mean, I'll take half of what Nuno can put together, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what's that kind of difference going to do? So, you know, strictly from a stat standpoint, you know, I mean, the dude's got to go, man. Hey, thanks a lot, but it's a distant memory, like you said. Way too much anguish over the last, you know, year and a half. You know, we've done it. I've seen you, you know, struggling, you know, on the feeds, and it's just it's bad. It's just time to go. I mean, out here, you know, if you suck, you know, in the NFL, you suck in Major League Baseball or in the NBA, you are gone, and nobody can give a shit about where you're going next, right?
Yeah.
So, hey, I get it. It's a thing, and you know, he did a great job, you know, for a little while. But hey, even Swansea got rid of their homie. So, I mean, let's just go. All I can say is muito obrigado, Cooper. You know, bring in Nuno and let's go. Let's score some goals.
Are you happy with Nuno? You happy with Nuno?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I don't think you know. I think he could have done a lot better at Tottenham, but Tottenham's just you know, Tottenham. They suck. I mean, their mentality is for shit. You know, they got a good coach now. The dude is, you know, he's level, he's even. It's a good move for them. But who gives a shit about Tottenham? But Nuno, you know, like I said, the guy wants to score goals. He has a style of play that's going to move forward. We're going to get scored on, absolutely. You know, but let's go score some. You know, let's score goals. These kids.
What are your expectations, Bobby? What do you think we'll do this season under Nuno?
Well, I mean, I think we'll be more successful, number one, as far as from game to game goes. I think you're going to see a better style of play. You know, I wish I could predict the end of it and we're holding up a cup, but we're not going to do that. The fact is that I think that, and I said this earlier, it turns out that Cooper is a adolescent coach. He coaches, you know, under 17s, great. But he got into this game and it doesn't fit. Nuno's managed this level of play, this style, this you know, this age, we'll just say, and competition. Let's let him do it, man. I mean, this is the time to do it. It may have been before, I don't know, but you know, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I think that if you're out there looking for managers and we're pulling names out like Pochettino, et cetera, it's like, come on. You know, we're not going to spend, you know, 10 million, 5 million or whatever it is on those kinds of guys.
Yeah. And they probably wouldn't come, to be honest, would they?
I'm sorry?
They wouldn't come. We got to be realistic
You're
as
right.
well about who we can attract. It sounds like
Right.
we couldn't get Lopetegui over the line either. Yeah.
Right. And those kind of guys wouldn't come. And at the end of the day, I mean, that's fine. Let's put us over that number 10 line, right? Let's get in that top 10. Let's score some goals that'll get us in there, and you know, we'll get in there. I mean, the things that like the same thing that what's his name's doing over at Villa, you know, yeah, absolutely, Emery. I mean, look at that. That's a complete change. And Gerrard's a legend, right? He's a legend over there. There's no doubt. You know, and you said, you know, you got to go, and you bring this dude in, and what they're number 2, number 3 now in the league. In less than 2 years,
they could be top if Arsenal draw with what's their face on Saturday and Villa win, they go top.
Absolutely, and they probably should, you know. But you look at that, you know, you look at even Marco Silva is doing the job in Fulham. I don't think, you know, I mean, his style is great. I think his players are probably our level, to be honest. You know. So if that's the case, then why are we wallowing down on the relegation line? That's ridiculous. Yeah. It's not like we don't have the players, but
I hear you, bro.
But yeah, hey, listen, thanks for having me on. I know there's a lot
it's
of guys
great to have you on as always, Bobby. You're always a straight talker, and I respect you for that.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm very far away from you guys, so you know I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, I'll get all the flag for it, but I don't care because this is the whole point of this show. You all get your say, and it's unfiltered to a certain degree.
All right,
Bobby, it's great to see you again, bro. We'll speak soon,
Pardinho, take care, my brother. You know, play the music. We got gigs coming. We'll talk to you soon. Practicing a little bit right now. I'll talk to you later.
All the best, Bobby.
All right.
Stay safe.
Peace.
Bye. Thank you, Bobby. Bobby, always the straight talker. Always the straight talker. All right, we've got Will, the actual Joe Lolly in the chat. Will, how you doing, mate? Just before I bring you in, Brandon, you're next. Rich, we'll come to you, and then Mohammed. Will, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, mate. You hear me?
How you doing, bud?
Not surprised, to be honest. I didn't really expect to get this news like as soon as it happened, really, because the expectation with Marinakis is that he's always given Steve Cooper time, and for him to be gone like this soon, if you know what I mean, it's kind of very out of the blue. But I'm not against it because I want to see something different. I want to see us play a different style of football for once. I want to see us have some adaptability for once, if you know what I mean. Because, if the thing with Cooper, like we lost Taiwo and he still kept trying to play the tactics of Taiwo, like it doesn't work. So
that's a good point.
But I'm quite on the line with it, to be honest.
Do you think that he kind of, he should have adapted with Taiwo out the team? He should have tried something different. Maybe spice, maybe try to Origi more, or something. I don't know.
I thought Origi looked like he had the heart for it in Fulham. He was going for it a lot more than Wood did. He definitely wants the number 9 role a lot more than Wood does. I don't understand why Chris Wood has been signed in the first place. I don't understand. It was not a logical sign. It still isn't. So I think, he's tried playing MGW as a number 9, but we knew that's not going to work out. He's not our biggest goal scorer. He's not, and it just shows how much we've relied on Taiwo, to be honest, which is why the recruitment's been awful and the tactics have been pretty much on par with that as well.
Yeah, and they were showing some stats I saw on Sky Sports News earlier. The difference in Cooper's results between Taiwo in the team and Taiwo out of the team. I think Taiwo's missed 30 games or something and he's been in for 25. I can't remember the exact stats, but there was a clear difference in how many games he won with Taiwo and without Taiwo. So I hear what you're saying. He almost started becoming too reliant on what Taiwo was saying, or was, as part of the team.
Yeah, but like I said, I think the adaptability talks of I think Nuno, obviously, he's got that, as was said earlier, he's got that Premier League experience, and other teams, for example, like last season, they've changed around their managers, and look at them now. If you know, like Everton changed their manager to Dyche, and now they're winning back-to-back games, and Villa changed their manager to Emery. So Dyche and Emery, that's 2 very Premier League experienced managers. And they've both been absolutely superb at the clubs they're at right now. Obviously, Wolves changed their manager numerous times, but they're still doing really well. And we needed more Premier League experience. We need someone that has really got that expectation that, we could have this main player injured and we might have to adapt to play with other players. And I think if you give Origi to a struggling Burnley or Sheffield United right now, he'd probably start week in, week out. So
let me ask you one final question, mate. What are your expectations with Forest this season? Assuming obviously Nuno comes in, what would you be happy with?
Well, with Nuno, it could go one or two ways, couldn't it? We could either stay in 17th, go like even far down and have it as an awful appointment, beat it down into the relegation zone. But I think we are going to go up. I think we need to go up. I think we can catch up on Crystal Palace. I know Rich is in this, so don't take any ideas. But I think we could catch up on Palace, who are probably going to end up with Cooper soon, and other teams above us. I think with the team that we have, and with the new, obviously he's Portuguese, isn't he? So he's got a lot with like Murillo and Danilo and all those. So I think it could be good. I'm saying maybe 15th, 14th this season. I think that'll be respectable. And set us up,
Fantastic. Aaron, Maddie, great points. Really enjoyed hearing them. And it's good that we finally got the real Joe Lolly on.
Yeah, well, good that he was going since. So, cheers anyway.
It's good to speak to you, Will. We'll speak soon, yeah?
Yeah, speak soon. Cheers, mate.
Bye. All right, guys, we've still got 1, 2, 3 more coming in, and Rich is backstage. I'll grab Rich on very, very shortly. Just a quick reminder, I think there's 600 of you in here. please don't forget to hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. We will keep breaking all the news to you as it comes. There will be a Grumpy Old Reds tonight at 7:30 p.m. as well. And just a quick reminder, the evening with Frank Clark, I spoke to Frank earlier on. We'll be doing that now on the 9th of January. We just want to make sure we pay both him and Cooper the respect they both deserve. And Harry, thank you so much for subscribing. Appreciate it. Okay, let's get Brandon on. Brandon, my man, how are you?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, buddy. How are you doing?
So you'll know yourself for a while. I've been Cooper out. I've definitely voiced that opinion pretty loud enough, if you like. But I am absolutely still Cooper out. I'm just worried that Nuno isn't our answer. A lot of people saying, let's score goals and stuff like this. I don't know a lot, granted, about Nuno. I have done a little bit of research around it. His style of play is very, counter. It's not very attacking. So are we just, because, I've even heard you say on videos before, our team at the moment isn't really built for counter attacking football, so are we gonna still, is this the answer? How are we gonna continue with counter attacking football when our players don't want to be doing that? They've all got shackles on them, if you like. It's concerning, to say the least.
So would I be right in saying you're Cooper out, but you're not Nuno in yet? Would that be a good way of summing it?
Yeah, you could say that.
You're not against him. I know what you're saying.
No.
You have your doubts. Your Nuno fence probably is the better phrase, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's because it brings a lot of anxiety around, obviously not knowing what's coming. And one thing I can say is really genuinely disappointing at the moment is how torn our fan base really is.
Yeah.
It's actually quite upsetting. At the end of the day, we all support the club, regardless on what our feelings are for Cooper. And just because you were an advocate of Cooper out doesn't mean you hate the club. And I've seen in a fair few comments, even in this channel, where people are getting quite disrespectful, because I know it's very heated time at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's, everyone got to remember we're all watching this channel, and we all join in with this channel because we love the club so much.
Exactly.
And regardless on your feelings and thoughts, if Nuno's coming in, we all have to get behind him.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, because it's Marinakis' decision, not ours. We can sit here and be grumpy till kingdom come. It's still the big man's decision. Exactly. So we have to get behind that. Really, I am really interested in what Rich has got to say, because I'm pretty sure Cooper's got his ticket to the Palace at the moment.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what Rich has got to say. It's going to be interesting. But okay, let me. You don't have to answer this one, but now that Cooper's gone, I feel like we can discuss what happens. But let's say Nuno doesn't come. Who did you have in mind, or was there a certain style of manager you wanted ahead if you didn't have a name?
There is a few. I didn't want Lopetegui. And so I think we've dodged a bullet when it comes to Lopetegui. That's just my personal opinion on that. I'm very unsure about Nuno. Glasner seemed like a good option. Yeah. I would have been happier with Glasner than Nuno, I would say. But the likes, I really would love to see Graham Potter in, if I'm quite honest. Yeah. If I had a choice of manager, and a realistic one, because it's not that unrealistic to have Graham Potter, I would have hands down chose him. Not
because he's gone through what we've gone through in terms of a project coming up, building, languishing around 17th, 16th? Do you feel he's more suited for the position we're currently in?
Yeah, well, saying that though, you can't take anything away from Nuno for that situation.
Yeah.
He dragged Wolves up, didn't he? And he got them consecutively 7th in 2 years. Which is in the Premier League it's an achievement within itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you know what it probably is for me? It's probably because I know a lot more of Graham Potter than I do Nuno.
Yeah.
And being familiar feels a bit more safer, if you like.
Yeah.
Because it's literally all it is by opinion. But yeah, I'm not. I'm just really on the fence. I'm worried about, obviously, because do you know what's going on with the management team around Cooper? Obviously, I suspect that they're going.
They'll be going. I think Nuno will bring in his guys. So I think Tate and the two Reedies, etc., will be on their way out. Yeah,
that one for me is quite worrying.
Stephen Reed, though, because Stephen Reed was there with. He was technically there with Houghton, wasn't he? So
yeah.
And then he became part of it. I don't know if they're now together as a group, but I haven't checked all my messages and stuff, so I don't know. But my gut feeling says that they'll all go. Most managers that come in want to put their own structure and guys.
Well, see, I think that is the key for getting any type of success under Nuno, because he had all his own management at Wolves, but didn't have any of his management at Tottenham, if I'm correct. Which obviously, he seemed a bit of a flop at Tottenham, and it could be the sheer fact that he didn't have the support management around him that he needed to get the job done. So if Marinakis is able to open his checkbook to Nuno's management team as well, then yeah, I think I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think, but your position, I don't have a problem with it, nor would I if I didn't agree with it. I'm not saying I do agree with it, but I don't think there's any harm in just sitting there on the fence, letting Nuno play a few games out, start to get a feel for his style, and let's see if the results come on the pitch. I think
it's incredibly naive for anybody to expect results straight away.
Yeah.
Because doesn't matter what manager you look at, they need to understand the team, individual players, what strengths they bring, what cons they bring to the game as well. And that takes a lot of time of working out. You can't just walk into a team and, click your fingers and start getting great results.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope Marinakis has done well on this one, because I think the last thing we need, especially in a situation like this, being 17th and then end up having a revolving door for the rest of the season of managers, because we could find ourselves back in the Championship begging Cooper to take the job back on.
Well, he may be at Palace by then, mate. And I'm going to bring Rich in. I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I don't have any problem. Not a problem. I understand exactly where your head's at, mate. I'm sure the chat do as well. There's quite a few saying they're on the fence as well. And I don't see that as a problem. You don't need to suddenly decide that he's definitely the right man for it. There is the proof's on the pitch. It always will be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Brandon, as always, it's a pleasure to speak to you yet again. And again, thank you for all your support and being in the chat all the time, mate. We do really love you and appreciate it. Even Ant.
No worries. Love you guys too. It's always great being here.
You too, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye. I think there's going to be a lot of you guys feeling like that at the moment in the chat, kind of on the fence. And as I say, I don't think that's a bad position to hold. Are you guys ready for it? I'll bring Rich on, and we got Mohammed, and I got Lucky Robot as well. And I think these will be the last 3 set we do, because I need to eat before the Gore stream. My man, how are you, bro?
Get in. Cooper's on his way.
How you feeling?
No, I can't even fake that. That is it. Oh, man. Oh, my days. This was all down to literally who bit the bullet first. It was literally all down to that. And can I be real with you? I was literally waiting for this weekend because I think for Roy, the Brighton game's the key one. If he doesn't get a win,
Are you home or away?
At home.
Okay.
If he doesn't get the win, I think he would have been gone anyway. So I was just hoping that Cooper just held on. Just hold on for a little bit.
Seriously, bro, right? Like, do you think Roy Savai would have gone maybe if you hadn't drawn to Man City?
I think they still would have waited for the Brighton one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you Roy in now? Question two.
No, I'm not. I'm not. He's still got to go. But if he stays to the summer, fair enough. But the only annoying bit is he can stay to the summer. We'll still probably wait on Cooper. You know, like we don't have no ambition. I think a few of your fans have said, like Potter, he's available.
Yeah.
I know McKenna won't go. He's going to get Ipswich promoted, so he'll probably end up staying.
Yeah.
Will Still is out there. Michael Carrick. You know, there are some.
Take Carrick.
I don't want Cooper.
So basically, you're Roy out and Cooper not in, is what you're saying.
Yes. Can I say the only saving grace I think coming out of this is that you may not get Lopetegui.
All right, do you want Lopetegui or Cooper?
Lopetegui for me.
You didn't even hesitate, man. Come on,
No.
come on, Rich, man.
No.
The man got us promoted.
If you look at
Premier League last season, yeah.
Can I be honest with you? If you look at Nuno, I think it's going to mess up your attack.
Say that again. Sorry, I had to shout at the kids. If we get what?
If you get Nuno, I think it might mess up your attack, your system, because he plays 3-5-2 normally, doesn't he?
He
Or
does, but he
5-3-2.
didn't do it against Spurs. At Spurs, he went 4-2-3-1.
And look where that got him. He got beat at ours 3-0.
You say that, right? But he won Manager of the Month. He beat Man City and Arsenal, I think, in the first two games.
Then he turned up
they
at
were top
Sellers
of the
Park
league.
and got a rude awakening.
Yeah, and then he got slapped. Would
'cause
you
obviously,
have
like,
taken Nuno at Palace, Rich?
No.
So so you're Potter or nothing then?
Not even that, because Nuno, he rejected us prior to Vieira.
So you just got bitter. Wait. So Nuno rejects Crystal Palace and comes begging for the Forest job. Then that's how you
No,
the biggest is, mate.
he rejected Palace, went Tottenham, and Vieira got him sacked.
He still rejected you. He still rejected you.
Yeah, to be fair, a lot of managers do, to be fair. So hopefully Cooper does the same.
Oh my! Imagine Cooper rejects you. That would be.
I don't know why you're laughing. I'll be happy.
I think it'd be hilarious.
The only, and this is the only plus side with having Cooper is that he does trust youth. That's the only thing, and we've got some decent youth.
You
But
say
other than
that, you say that, bro. I don't buy into it. I don't buy into it. Because if you look at our team of the Premier League, the only youth that developed through really were Morgan Gibbs-White, who we bought, and Brennan Johnson.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
rest
I do
were
feel a little bit sorry for Cooper in the sense that I don't think these are his signings. Granted, he's still got to do better with what he's been given because they're not bad players. But I think the ownership's just said, listen, we've got this money, we're going to spend it.
Yeah, but let's be real. Let's say he goes, yeah. He's going to be looking back at Forest thinking, man, do you remember the days when my owner would actually buy me players? And then I've got this
Exactly
carrot.
that. He says, deal with it, you ain't got nothing.
Oh, God.
What was his relationship with Taiwo?
Cooper.
Yeah.
Good relationship. It was his boy, man. He's the one who got us all the points.
Well, hopefully, if he does come along to Palace, he can drag him with him.
No. The players you'll get if you're gonna sniper anyone from Forest, probably get Joe Worrell.
Where does he
who else will Palace have? You can have Quixote back. You know, history there.
Is Joe Worrell centre back or centre mid?
Centre back.
No, we got enough of those.
Hey, do you want to check Quixote back?
I would actually say no to that, you know.
I think
with our injury problems.
Oh yeah. Oh, Cooper's best mate is Yates. Sorry, not Yates. Wood. Wood will be your striker, man. I'll tell you what, chat. How much for Wood? 15 million? I'll be at 15 million. You'll get a good discount on that.
Wolfie, we've already got Mateta. Don't do that.
I still say, right, if he goes in, the IU brothers will be united as one in Palace.
Yeah, they can join the coaching staff. That's what they can do.
Oh, you really are. You are worried, mate, aren't you? You are worried.
I am. I'm really worried. Because I'm looking through the other teams that I like maybe might change the manager. It's literally just us and us, Burnley and West Ham.
Maybe
really?
Man U, yeah.
Yeah, but imagine Cooper at United.
It could happen. It could happen. You never know. The way some of the Cooper fans talk, he's good enough for Man U. Mark's saying he won't go to Palace, could take over England. I think it'll be Eddie Howe for England for me. I don't think it'll be Cooper.
But in all honesty, the reason why I'm worried, it's such a Palace thing to do. To at this moment in time where we're one of the worst teams regarding form in the league, to go and get the only team that's beneath us, get their manager. So because Parish is such a cheapskate.
Is there calls for him to go out?
Oh yeah, the fans we're sick of the board.
Yeah,
like basically, Parish obviously he's got the biggest say, but there are other owners who, I mean, John Textor came in first season under Vieira. We did well. We spent well. Got some great players, Elise Gay, etc.
Yeah.
Then Parish kind of just like, I don't want you to be spending any more money because that would mean you'd want more say, and he doesn't want to give away that. So Textor said, "Okay, I ain't gonna give you a lot of money."
You know what I want to see, Rich? I can't wait to see Elise and Eze playing in a low block formation.
They already do.
Oh no, not this kind of formation. Not this one. Not this one. Hey, listen. Let me get the other guys on, bro.
Yeah, do that.
And we will talk. I can't wait for the next beat the drop. I really can't. It's gonna be interesting. Rich, I'm here if you need me, bro. You got my
I ain't
number.
calling you. Go away. See you later.
All right, bro. Have a good evening, man. I'll see you later. Cheers, bro. Bye. Oh, you gotta love Rich. You really do. Love the t-shirt, says don't flop. Yep, in Cooper we trust and pay him my respect to the guy who got us promoted. And Brandon with the £2. Cooper Wood Shelby package deal for Palace. I'd be all right with that. I'd chuck Joe Worrell in as well. Let's bring on another legend of the channel, Mohammed. My guy, how are you doing, bro?
Hi. It happened.
It happens. You were Cooper out, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I felt it coming when we lost to Wolves. I felt like to Tottenham. I felt it. I felt it coming. You can see the fans cheering his name. It was like a really nice send off for Cooper because he knew the time was up as well, and we all knew that as well. And when I saw the news that you posted, I got so excited. I just got so excited that Cooper's gone now, but like, if I was there, I was like, kind of excited. You think about what he's done for us. Like,
yeah.
He got us from bottom of the championship all the way to the Premier League, and now
the promised land, yeah.
Yeah, and now he's gone, and we're living in Nuno. So I've never seen Nuno's tactics. What I saw from Sky Sports News is that he's got a really more win rate potential in the than Steve Cooper. And like I think with Cooper, I'm not trying to put him down or anything.
No,
he's not a Premier League manager. In my opinion, he's more like championship level. So like he's got like, and people like saying the rumors that Cooper was the lowest paid manager in the league. That's not true. It obviously Paul.
Heckingbottom, yeah.
Before he got sacked. And like with Cooper now gone, and you get Nuno, we can't really say, oh, we don't want this manager or that manager. Just go do with it and just see what happens. Because if we get back a manager and the owner says, I want this manager, we need to say, okay, we've got this manager now. We just gotta deal with it and stop stop hiding behind the bus and say, okay, let's see what happens in the next few games. Maybe who knows, if he won against Bournemouth, beat Newcastle, and then beat United, that'll be 3 wins in a row for us. So we need it now. We need it.
So, what are your Can you hear me? Okay, my screen just went black for a second. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are your expectations now? With let's just say Nuno does get the job. What do you think will happen this season with Forest? Do you think we'll be in a relegation fight, or can you see him taking us up the table?
Well, I hope not. I really hope he can Raiders make it one and get us back into the top 10 hopefully. Because with Cooper, he was really struggling with injuries and laying players out, and and when Tyler got injured, we really struggled to try and replace him. In my opinion, Wood and Origi, they're not the answer.
Agreed.
To our problems. Dennis was a really good player for us, and against Newcastle, that chip was really good as well. And I think we should.
It's a great goal. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. We should have kept him. But Taylor didn't fancy him for some reason because he got the penalty experience.
What do you think of Podence, Mohammed? What do you think of Podence? Would you take him from Olympiacos because he was with Nuno, at Wolves?
Yeah, but I would like Stopper to come back because he's Brazilian. Nuno's is he Brazilian? Nuno is he
He's
Brazilian?
Portuguese, so they speak the same
Portuguese,
language.
yeah.
Because in Brazil, they'll speak Portuguese. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you don't know because maybe new players don't really like the new manager who comes in. And for example, Jim White has so much love for Steve Cooper.
Yeah.
As well, and I wanna see how the new players react to this new style of play, this new manager. So he needs to get results going now because our next game is in 2 days' time. Again, Bournemouth at home, and we need to really hit the ground running our results.
Yep.
Otherwise we're going to Christmas time, knowing that we've got a hard fixtures to come.
Yeah.
And then we got a FA top game of Blackpool or Forest Dinner coming up in January.
Yeah.
And then we got Brentford, then Arsenal.
Arsenal. It's tough.
And then it's really hard to hit the ground running. So you got obviously a new manager comes in. There all going to be so much pressure on the manager who comes in.
Yeah.
You can't expect that there's going to be no pressure. There is. And you just gotta hit the ground running as fast as you can.
Okay. What do you think this weekend? Do you think we'll get a manager bounce? Can you see us beating Bournemouth?
I mean, it's gonna be hard. Honestly, it is gonna be hard because the manager will need a reaction from the players, and B, he needs to really get results now because Marinakis wants it. We want it as well. As fans, and I'm sure you want it as well. So we want the results. And if you don't get it now, then where's the next one coming from? Where's it coming from?
Exactly. Spot on, mate. Spot on. Let's see what happens this Saturday. Well, let's see if Nunes gets appointed first, which I'm pretty sure he will be. As always, matey, I got Lucky Robot. I want to get them in the background, and it's a pleasure as always to talk to you, bro. It's always good to see you in the chat as well. And let's see what happens this Saturday, bro.
Yes, I'm saying 2-0 Forest.
Huh?
I'm saying 2-0 Forest. 2-0.
2-0. What a start that would be. We'll definitely go with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Come on, you Reds.
You Reds. I'll see you soon, Mohammed. Thanks a lot, bro.
See you.
Bye. All right. I think it's interesting to hear what all you guys are saying and all the different opinions. And this is why I love doing these call-ins. Let's bring on Lucky Robot. Thank you for patiently waiting, matey. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. The inevitable's happened. Yeah.
Sorry, there's been so many in the backstage, bro. I appreciate your patience. But how you feeling?
A little bit sad. A little bit sad. It's the end of an era, isn't it? So I think everybody feels like that. But it was inevitable now. Like I said when I called in the other week, you know, I don't see where he went from there, and this, you know, it had to happen. It should have happened then. It shouldn't have gone on so long. And the thing what a lot of fans support with their heart and not what they're actually seeing. And this is the biggest problem, whereas a lot of young fans have never experienced any success. So this is all they've had. And Cooper's given them success. And of course, like we felt like that years ago under the great man. So they're feeling the same. And how sad I was when Brian Clough died. It was like he was my dad. So I get it. And I know he's not dead. Obviously, that's a bit... but you know what I mean? It's
I know what you mean, and but you would think that's some of the tweets I've been seeing.
Yeah, they're reacting like you know, he's never going to be seen again. But just because people thought it was time for a change doesn't mean that nobody respects him anymore. And then it's just like your football is a very split opinion. It's whether you've played football, understand football, or just like going and enjoying the game. And this is why you get such varied opinions and so many arguments at the moment. But this appointment is not a surprise at all, because this is a top-down appointment. So basically, Corden and Mendes will work with Nuno, which is why they've brought him in, because their falling out has been on signings and who's going to play and who's not going to play. We've got half the squad frozen out and not playing. So now they're all going to sing from the same hymn sheet because they're all part of the same gang. Corden's got a history with Mendes and Nuno, and he is now overseeing us. Mendes is coming back, whether we've had the short end of the stick in the past, which we definitely have. Now we're in the Premier League, and if we're honest, we all looked on in Wolves with envy a few years ago with the players they were getting, and how good
loads of Forest, you're spot on, mate. Loads of Forest fans would say, you know, let's do a Wolves. You know, I know the trend one now is to say let's do a Brighton, but before that, it was all about Wolves, wasn't it?
Exactly. And the thing is, Wolves were there lording it over most people and playing. Like, well, look at what Wolves fans say. They're not slating Nuno. They're not slating him. They're saying they've all gone downhill since he left. So you got to give the guy a chance, like anything. I hope that the fans that are heartbroken that we're hearing don't be toxic at the weekend, because we're all Forest and we need to get behind the manager. And that's once people get going. If Nuno comes in and gets us a win on Saturday, it'll be onwards and upwards. And you know, but the thing is, I think before January, and with Nuno's agent being who it is, and with obviously Marinakis buying a club with said agent just recently, they're obviously. I wouldn't be surprised now to see us. Like you said, Podence, I'm not sure Olympiacos would want to let him go because he's doing really well for them. I think their fans would literally explode if we took them off. But
can you see the Black Book opening up, the Mendes Black Book? I mean, could you see Neves maybe? I don't know. Am I reaching too much?
No, because the Saudi link, he'll go to Newcastle. Yeah, I don't think that will happen because Newcastle have got deeper pockets than Marinakis. Whether he's working with Marinakis or not, I think he wants to keep them on the side. But I can definitely see some more Brazilian, Portuguese, you know, players we probably wouldn't have expected. I expect Jota to be one of them, to be honest. I think
it'll be two.
No, not the Liverpool one. Not the Liverpool one. The Celtic. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's fallen out over there. You got
me excited for a second. You got me excited for a second.
No, we can't afford him. Why would he? Nah, I'm not. I'm a bit more of a realist. But the other Jota, I think we've got a chance with. But the Podence I would take. But I think I won't be surprised to see the left back from Wolves. Forgot his name. That's not getting in. That spat at one of the coaches. I know that's not a good thing to do, but he did.
Was it Johnny?
Yeah, I won't be surprised to see him come in because we need a left back. and yeah, he gets on with them.
Cody, you gonna take Cody as well?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we don't need any.
Yeah, Doherty as well. They ended up at Spurs, didn't they?
I don't think we need any more centre halves. We need to get rid of some centre halves. If we get Nino and Nuno, we don't need anything else that ends in N and O, do we? We get too many, but yeah, yeah. I think this is to make us top down aligned. This is what I think people need to realise is Marinakis has grown frustrated at the tit for tat with the signings because everything fell apart with the signings. The end of last season, I know that a lot of falling on has gone on because of the lack of trust. And then so it's been tit for tat. I'm not playing him. You're not playing. This one's rubbish behind the scenes. So this is why loads of players haven't played. And also players have been bombed out. But yet we've had players that come in and should have played that hadn't even been given a chance at all. So we can't afford to do that. So if as a club, we can't do that. You telling me now Montiel won't be potentially in the team in the next few weeks? Probably will. And then you're going to look at even potentially Tavares if we play free back and you want attacking on the left.
He's Portuguese as well, mate. I don't want him in the team.
But I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that.
I know what you're saying. I get you.
I think you're going to see people come out from the cold that have got a point to prove, and that might be good for us because we need that.
I fully agree with that, and we could. I know we've talked about it, and I think not many agree, but Dennis, Scarpa, all these guys that got bombed out. Dare I say Shelby? Would anyone take Shelby back? Yes or no on that one?
That was the start of the end for Cooper Shelby. So
yeah, it was for me. It was the Wood signing. He put his hat on him, and that was 19 million that we'll never see. And I think you're right. I think the relationship did start to break down from there. We saw it was quite icy, wasn't it, on the last game between him and Marinakis on the pitch. So
the problem we have now as a fan base is if we turn, or not me, but if the fans turn that are salty about what's happened, we're going to end up going back to where we don't want to go. We're at a very important split in the road now.
We are. Yeah.
It's what's going to happen when we've been at the games. A lot of people that wasn't happy with what they're seeing, wasn't saying much because you'd get lynched. And so it's like right now, you're vocal both ways. And so we can't afford to have a club that's split because last year, the thing that we united behind was the manager and how we'd grown as a club. But right now, the new guy, this is not his fault. And I'm seeing people saying they're going to turn up and they're going to not want to go to the games, this, that, and the other. And if you're going to go with a negative attitude, then don't go. Because at the end of the day, we support Forest, not Steve Cooper. Yeah. We love Steve Cooper for what he's done, but new man, new broom sweeps clean and all that. And we got to get behind him. So, that's it, really.
I think for me, my biggest worry, mate, is what happens when Nuno goes through the first bad spell of games. And it's inevitable. It's going to happen. Yeah, we're not going to suddenly win the league overnight. But what's going to happen at that stage? Will you start hearing, "Oh, be careful what you wish for"? I've been seeing that a lot.
Yeah, of course.
We should get Cooper back. That's my worry. That's when it could get toxic.
Yeah. Well, no, it's already happening, isn't it? At the end of the day, look, we will all be right in the end because every manager on the planet gets sacked. So it's just like it's easy to say I was right. You're always going to be right in the end because the manager stays in a job forever.
Exactly.
But you've got to. We just need to evolve. I actually think if we do get aligned from the top to the bottom, and we are aligned with the players we bring in, because this has been the biggest problem and the biggest, hardest thing for Cooper to do as well. Whether he wasn't on board with them or not, he struggled to make players fit. But at the same time, he kept wanting players that weren't working as well. So then we've had to replace them with other players to try and make up for the ones that were crap. Yeah. So we ended up. So if we are all on the same hymn sheet, maybe this might be what we need. I'm not saying who knows what we're going to see. I can't see the future, but I do see that. I think now the reason this is happening is because we want to be aligned from our transfers. Hence why we've sacked all our transfer people 2 or 3 times over. We need to be aligned with Corden, Mendes, and Nuno, and I think those 3 are aligned. This is why we haven't got Glasner, I think, as well, because Glasner is coming from a foreign country. He's not linked with he has no past relationship with Mendes or whatever. And whether we like it or not, Mendes is going to have a say. This is quite clear right now.
Yeah. And also, you know, who can attract better players? Because, like you said, we've got the Mendes Black Book now. Glasner looks like he could be a really good manager and what he's done. But has he got that pull that potentially Mendes can get people over the line with? So
and that's the thing, when the manager that he's bringing in has already had a past history of him bringing players in for him and giving him success. That, like you've just heard, Nuno didn't want Palace. Well, but Marinakis is his boy, and Mendes is involved with this, like there was with Wolves, and he knows what he's done in the past. So that should be exciting for Forest fans, because if they do bring the players in like what Wolves are getting, we're in for an exciting time. So let's look at the positive of what could be, rather than, you know, crying over what could have been.
I love that. I love that sentiment, man, and I think that's the right approach, bro. All right, matey. I appreciate you coming on. I think, as always, and as last time, your points were spot on. And as you say, we don't know the future. So we'll start to have it revealed to us come probably Saturday by the sounds of things.
Yeah, but even that's too close to judge him, and you know, he's got 2 days.
I agree.
But yeah, we've just got to. I mean, I know what's good. I'm crossing my fingers it doesn't, but I can already feel the toxicity that's going to come unless we get off to a flyer. And that just worries me where we'll end up if that happens. We can't afford to do that as a fan base.
Yeah. I think the only thing we can control is how we react. And then, you know, however anyone wants to react, I guess it's up to them, isn't it? But the bottom line is, mate, once the wins come on the board, hopefully they do, everyone's happy, aren't they?
That's football.
Exactly. We wouldn't have it any other way.
All right.
Good to speak to you again, bro. And
all right, mate.
We'll speak to you no doubt on one of the next call-ins. Yeah.
Okay. See you later. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Bye. I think that was fantastic. I was in loads of positive comments on what Robot just said there, and I think we'll take a pause there as well because I'm starving. We've got Grumpy Old Reds coming up at 7:30. We'll have most of the panelists on there to have their say, and that will kick off at 7:30. But the breaking news for you guys tonight is Cooper has officially been sacked from Nottingham Forest. Nuno is expected to sign a 2.5-year deal and is expected to be in the dugout come Saturday against Bournemouth. There's loads of other things to talk about. I'm gonna have to tell you guys about the whole Joe Worrell thing that's going on. We'll cover that off in Grumpy Old Reds in an hour and a half. So everyone take a breather, take 90 minutes, get yourself some food in your bellies. I hope you've enjoyed the phone in. I know it's under weird and unusual circumstances. You guys in the chat have been amazing. Please do hit that like if you haven't already. And we'll be back at 7:30 for Grumpy Old Reds. Thank you for everyone who's called in and everyone in the chat. We'll see you then. You Reds.